Thank you, Kusala Baby. And very good to see you all. I hope my internet connection behaves tonight, my computer. But I got my phone ready to connect again if that fails. Yeah, and it's very attractive at the moment just to have a bit of a more experimental approach to the way we are exploring the Dharma together virtually nowadays as a Sangha. So I'm going to talk about the third precept, as Kusala Devi just said, just following what Kusala Devi and Bodhinaya have done. And as Kusala Devi hinted properly there, certainty there, we're going to be talking mainly about energy tonight. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a short presentation that I have prepared for the evening, and then we're going to do probably 2 or 3 exercises and see how the evening unfolds. So I'm going to show this presentation. Bear with me a moment. I'm just going to make it available for everybody. Okay. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see this. Great. Yeah, we are in the realm of the third precept. It can be enunciated as contentment, not craving. And as we know, we usually do this at the beginning of the Sangha nights when we recite the refutes and precepts. So we explain, affirm the precept both in its negative form in Pali and its positive form. So the positive form is with a stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. And the negative is Kamesu, Michachara, Vermani, Sikapadan, Sadadhyami. And the translation that we usually use in the negative form is undertake the training principle of abstaining from sexual misconduct. So the precept is mostly talking about our sexual behavior in the way we usually approach it. But it's much more than that. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say tonight. So these 2 words, Kamesu, Michachara, the meaning is a bit wider than that. So Kamesu refers more to sensuous experience. Yeah, so everything that we come in contact with through the senses. Yeah. In the Buddhist tradition, the realm in which we engage traditionally, or sort of on a daily basis, is called Kamaloka, which is a realm of sensations, a realm of the senses, yeah, how we interact with the world. So it's not just sexual misconduct or sexual drive what we are looking at. We are looking at the whole realm of the senses when we think of the third precept. And Michachara is misconduct, can be translated as misconduct, or a deviation of the ideal. Yeah. So it's good to have clear then what the ideal is. And another way of translating the negative form is I undertake the course of training in refraining from wrongdoing in respect of sensuality. Yeah. It's a whole realm of sensuality, if you want. So I wanted to open this a bit up because sometimes it's difficult to think we might be very well behaved in terms of our sexual life, the way we manage our sexual drive and our sexual impulses. But that doesn't mean that we are necessarily cultivating the positive aspect of the precept. Yeah, this is stillness, simplicity, and contentment. So this is a precept for us who haven't taken monastic vows. Yeah. The precept for a monk, a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni is a bit different. Yeah. This precept, the third precept, we will talk very explicitly in terms of brahmacharya, yeah, or chastity, if you want. Though chastity is a very Christian word. It has a lot of Christian connotations, but in the Buddhist world, we talk about brahmacharya. Yeah. So that would be the ideal if we are trying to going forth in the way that the traditional societies do for sanghas. But obviously, we don't live in a traditional society. We live in a society that it has many influences. Most of us live lifestyles that are quite determined by convention. Well, we need to work to earn our living. We probably have families to sustain, to feed. So it's not as straightforward when we think in terms of stillness, simplicity, and contentment. So going back to this idea of thinking of the precepts in terms of energy, I would like to share with you another way of thinking of the precepts. It's called the Tantric precepts. Yeah. This is a list that was written by Bhante Sankarachita. So this is each of the lines is correlates to one of the 5 precepts. So the first precept can be rewritten or re-expressed, re-emphasized as do not obstruct the energy of another person. The second precept, that of generosity, will be do not drain the energy of others. This area that we are looking at tonight will be do not misuse energy. And then in the next 2 weeks, we'll be looking at the next 3 weeks actually, we'll be looking at the speech precept, which can be translated in this model as used for any given purpose, the energy appropriated to that purpose, not one which is inappropriate. And the last one, the mind precept, will be do not allow energy to become turbid, keep it clear and bright. This session, by the way, is being recorded. Sorry, so you can watch it again in our YouTube channel if you want to look at this material, this presentation. But this is very interesting for me to look at. First of all, when we look at the Tantric precept, we are emphasizing this interaction, this interdependence that we have with other people. So it's not just about our energy, but it's how we, in communication with others, use our energy. And that's the area that I want to explore today. Yeah. So one of the, if you remember, when we talk about action, karma, in the Buddhist tradition, action is divided at 3 levels. Yes, we talk about the body, we talk about the speech, and we talk about the mind. So today we are looking at the last precept related to the body in this list of 5 precepts. So the first 3 precepts are related to the body. But energy, obviously, we experience energy at any of those 3 levels. It could be energy, bodily energy, it could be energy in the form of sounds, in the form of speech, and energy in our mental states. But it's a common experience sometimes to feel that our energy is scattered, that is not quite together. And it's noticeable when we feel that our energy is focused, that we are applying our attention, our concentration on something fully. Yeah. So I want to explore this area, bringing a bit of the metaphor or the allegory of the demons. Yeah. Because the demons are representations traditionally, not just to us as individuals, but for everybody in historically in our civilization. We have personified certain energies and certain tendencies in the shape of these malign or benign forms. And I just want to show you something, a bit of an experiment that I did in preparation for this this talk or this workshop, that I just did a Google search with the word demons. And I wanted to show you some images that came out. And just the caption, I'm not going to say much more about the image, but just the caption underneath the images. So I'm going back to the presentation now. And then the first one, I'm sorry. So this image is interesting. It's called the paralyzing sleep demon. This is a demon that is very familiar to me. That demon that sometimes doesn't allow me to get up in the mornings. But I like the picture. I like the picture of this. You know, it's like somebody who is completely surrendered to this. And it is, in a way, it's almost like a comical figure, but obviously it has a lot of energy. And that those bulging eyes looking directly at the spectator. And the horse hidden in the back. The horse is usually a symbol of energy, of vitality, virya, as well as we call it in the Buddhist tradition. Let's close this. Okay, let me show you another one. This is a more classical representation of demons. So it's called Demons of the Deep State. And yeah, it's a classical representation of demons tormenting human beings. It's what we see as well in the Wheel of Life, in their hell realm. But this is obviously in the Christian tradition. I believe this is a mural in a church in Florence. So I really like this image, actually, very powerful. And that's a caption underneath the image: how to overcome your demons. Some of the contrast between those two figures is very interesting. But what calls my attention is the energy around that. I suppose it's a sort of a piranha kind of fish. Yeah. And this is more sort of a traditional, iconic image in the West. So the caption was "Facing Your Demons," and this is the angel and the devil facing each other. And it is that traditional. You get that sort of a joke in entertainment a lot, that you have somebody who is going to make a decision and has a little angel in one shoulder and a little demon in the other, and they are giving, one is giving good advice, the other is giving the naughty advice. So this area of angels and demons being against each other. So it's another traditional image, Christian image. So we have an angel here who is winning that battle of the giving the good advice and winning the will of the person, and the demon going away. So this is a very traditional representation, but I want also to show you another representation of angels. So this is the good and evil angels from a creator that I really admire, William Blake. His birthday, by the way, is on Friday. So when I was preparing this presentation, I thought I wanted to include something about him, because we have been celebrating William Blake's birthday for the last 3 or 4 years here in Nottingham. So, and in this case, William Blake talks about the devil, or the angel of evil, as full of energy, and the flames are something that represents all that energy. But usually that angel is bound to something. We don't allow that angel of evil, of energy, to run free. Yeah, we have many ways of shackling that angel down. And the angel is trying to reach to this boy here, or this baby, can be a girl as well, that represents, in a way, represents life, that represents that intention. Sorry, that was something else. I'll show you that in a moment. But then they said there's this other angel, the angel of good, that is sort of protecting, but it's protecting that that life in a way that is negating energy to it. Yeah. So it's an allegory here about that. And this is more demons of our time. So demons transform into commodities. Yeah. So I really like the caption. The caption says, "A children's book of demon," and then has the Amazon.co.uk. So it's everything is tame and transforming into a commodity in our society nowadays. And another funny image was this. In that same Google search about demons, I didn't put anything else, just demons, a picture of a politician. And I found the caption interesting. Americans are suffering. Sorry, that I don't know how to move that menu there. But yeah, that we have that language as well in the media, that politicians get usually, public figures in general, get usually demonized. They are very, very easily transformed into sort of a bidimensional character. And we can project on them our fears and our terrors, our anxieties. Let me see. Yes, so let me just go back here before we go into the exercises. So there are many different demons, and I wanted to base as well this exploration a couple of things. So Bante's reflections on energy, and I'm going to say a couple of things about that, but also a book called Feeding Your Demons by Sultrin Alion. And it's a very interesting book. I recommend you to read it. It's mostly this exploration of all the energies that make up our experience. But from a very personal place, the writer, she went through a very difficult, life-changing situations, and she was exploring the whole. It's a very particular tradition in the Vajrayana called the short tradition. So she was looking into that more fully. But I really like, she includes in this book a list of demons, and I just want to read from the index, the demons that she mentions. So she mentions the demons of illness, the demons of fear, the demons of love, the demons of addiction, the demons of abuse, the demons of the mind, the demons of elation, and the demon of egocentricity. Just some of them. But also when I was researching a bit more about this, I found there's a very common demon in our age. Bante calls this age that we live the age of anxiety. And a very common demon for us today that probably most of you have had some sort of experience with is the demon of procrastination. Yeah. And I was looking at this very good TED talk that I recommend. It's not very long. It's called Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator by Tim Urban. And he was talking about a demon that becomes his guardian angel when he is very close to the deadline. And I just want to show you the drawing that he made of that demon. So let's go back to the presentation. And this is Tim Urban's demon, the guardian demon. He calls it the panic monster. So appears just right before he needs to meet his deadline, and it usually helps him to complete his tasks. But yeah, from a more traditional Buddhist point of view, I just wanted to look at how the language changes when we look at from the glasses of the Buddhist tradition. Yeah. So I did the same Google search, and I put demons space Buddhism, and the language was very different. So it started to come more in terms of transforming demons. Yeah. And this image, I think this is a very beautiful image. So this is a very traditional figure in Southeast Asia called Shitigarba. And we have this, we probably recognize this from the Wheel of Life. Yeah? We have a bodhisattva who is feeding the hungry ghosts of, or alleviating the suffering of those beings in the hell realm. And also, the language changed from transforming as well to include taming the demons. So that's what we are going to attempt to do tonight. Yes. So that was a bit of a little tour around with all these figures. So what I want to do now is to invite you individually. This is going to be a very individual exercise tonight. And just get in a very relaxed posture. Just be sure there is no tension in your experience right now. And whenever you feel ready, if you want, you can turn your camera off if that helps you. We're going to do this. It's a very brief exercise. It's just 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah. Whenever you feel ready, just close your eyes. And take a few moments just to feel, experience yourself fully, as fully as you can right now. So you're now connected with a group of people. Some of them you can recognize, you know who they are. You can remember the kind of connection that you have with them. You can remember your motivation to be here tonight. And that's probably the driving force for you to make the effort of participating of this space here and now. So acknowledge that. Stay with it. And also start looking beyond what immediately appears in your mind. What is your mood right now? Are you curious? Are you bored? Are you tired? Noticing concrete sensations in the body, especially of energy moving in your experience. What other thoughts can you recognize right now? Is there any doubt in your experience? Any fear? You're experiencing anxiety. Is there anything upsetting you? Anything that might feel overwhelming in your experience? Or the contrary, are you feeling euphoric? Inspired? And in that process of recognizing your thoughts and your feelings, are you remembering others? Are you fixated with a memory from the past? Are you obsessed with a future event? Just witnessing, just observing, without directing your experience, without moving in any direction. And whenever you feel ready, after the bell, open your eyes and bring the exercise to a closure. Okay, so now if you take it a couple of minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I'll ring the bell again at the end of this. This is a very personal reflection. Just write down what was experienced there in that moment. Whatever emerged, whatever you became aware of. You don't need to share this with anybody. So it's just, in a way, you are portraying your experience of yourself in the last 5 minutes. I think most people have finished. So the interesting thing here is just to recognize where we are at with all, with the focus of our attention, with the focus of our intention even, but also with all the other elements that make up our experience. In a way, we are just, with that exercise, we are just looking into a mirror of what's happening for us right now. Maybe we can start recognizing a few things. First of all, probably you have noticed that your experience is not tidy. Yeah, it's not clean. It's not just one color or one voice, one type of energy. Yeah. It's a bit more messy than that. It's a bit more chaotic than that. And that's our experience at any given moment. Yeah. But that's not a problem in itself. Yes. So Bante says that messiness is not necessarily a problem in a spiritual life. Insofar as we are involving many aspects of ourselves. And he prevents us from moving too quickly into trying to impose an order into our messiness. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do tonight is just to try to let yourself be more into that messiness of your experience. And the important thing with this is that we probably don't do that often enough. Yeah? We probably have too many rules in our lives that prevent us from experiencing ourselves more fully, yeah? More in connection with those energies. If there are no personal rules, it's not a sort of a self-censorship that you apply to your experience. It might be rules that we live with from other people, the people that are around us, the rules that we inherit, from our family upbringing, from our education, the rules that society impose on us. Like right now we are in the middle or just towards the end of a lockdown. Yeah. So there's a very big rule that we are following. So there are many rules in our experience that inhibit the possibility of us exploring those energies a bit more fully. So let's try to move into that. I'm not sure how far away we are going to get tonight, but at least we're trying to get some level of contact and communication with those energies. And when I choose a title for the evening, I put it as Taming Your Demon. Yeah. And it's a single demon. It's in singular. Yeah. Because I'm sure that our experience is made of much more than just one demon, but we cannot aim to tame too many demons tonight. So one is enough. If you get in contact with just one of these aspects of your energy, that is a bit energy, it's a bit problematic even, those words that we use to refer to those aspects of ourselves that we are not very comfortable with. Yeah. So, and in a way, what we just done as well is we are drawing a portrait of ourselves through words, through language. That's one of the main ways that we filter our experience. Yeah? When we reflect of our experience, when we think of our experience, we use words and we label them. That's very powerful. That's a very powerful tool. So gradually we're going to move into owning that a bit more. So let's get a bit more creative. I show you that drawing from this guy called Tim Urban of the panic monster. So I want you to try now and try to make that portrait that you just made into words. Try to make a drawing of it. If you can personify maybe an aspect, if you can choose just an aspect of your energy right now and personify, give it a shape, a form, how it will look. You can try to make a whole portrait of the whole experience. That probably that's a bit too ambitious. But if just have a go and see what emerges from that exercise. So make a drawing now of your experience. if it was to be a character, how that character will look. And we'll have another 2 to 4 minutes for this. I'll ring the bell at the end of this. One minute left. Okay. It doesn't need to be a masterpiece. Whatever you have there, that's going to be good for the rest of the exercise. So just one more thing before we move into the next section of the evening. I just mentioned this thing about language. Language is very powerful. Yeah. And in Bante's elucidation of the Dharma, that's something that he emphasizes a lot, you know, that we get the right meaning of the words. I really like also an example from the Buddhist tradition, the late Buddhist tradition, the Vajrayana, which is this of Padmasambhava. I don't know how many of you have heard of Padmasambhava. I assume that everybody knows who I'm talking about. And one of the things that Padmasambhava did when he arrived in Tibet is that he was taming demons. But the way that he did it was by realizing or discovering or using their true name, their secret name. So I want you to do something. I'm going to give you a minute or two. And I want you to look at that picture that you have in front of you and just name it, give it a name. Yeah. So I'll give you a minute or two just to do that. Looks like most of you are ready. So at this point, does somebody want to share? You can just say the name of your demon, and if you want to say something else, that's fine. It's a bit more personal, and it's probably going to take a bit longer. I want to invite you now to have a dialogue with this entity, this character that has appeared in front of you. And what I want you is to ask to this character 3 questions. Okay? So you can write this down if you want. So the questions are, what do you want from me? Second question is, what do you need from me? And the last one, how will you feel if you get what you need? Okay, everybody got the questions? Good, okay. So I'll give you another, let's say 5 to 6 minutes to this one. And I'll ring the bell again at the end. One minute left. Okay. It looks like everybody was busy doing something. So let's switch. Let's turn things around a bit now. And you know, as at the beginning, I was talking about our energy and that portrait that you made first with words and then in the form of a graphic representation, a drawing. So that's an aspect. At the moment, you are interacting with an aspect of your experience. So now I want you to go full empathy mode with this aspect of your experience and turn things around, switch places. So now you are going to take the place of the demon as if he's in a dialogue with you. And I want you to complete the next statements. So you can write, this is the first part of the sentence that you're going to complete. It's 3 again. And again, this is you as a demon meeting yourself. Yeah? So the first one is, what I want from you is. What I need from you is, the second one. And the last one is, when my need is met, I will feel. Complete the sentence. And remember, you're trying to give voice to this energy, to this character now. So let's take a few more minutes, another 4 to 5 minutes. One more minute. Okay, again, at this point, just before we bring the evening to a closure, does anybody want to share? Do you manage to have a conversation, a dialogue with this character, this entity, this energy? You don't need to go into the details if you don't want, but it will be interesting to hear if you manage to have papers. And let's go back to a little exercise of get in a comfortable posture. And whenever you feel ready, just close your eyes. And then come back to the experience of your body here and now. If it helps, you can take 1 or 2 deep breaths. And this time, just remember this character, this presence, this demon. And try to visualize it in front of you in an equal situation. You have invited this presence to be with you here today. You are the host, and this demon is the guest. And just remember what the demon will feel if it was satisfied, if it was nurtured, fulfilled. Remember that the demon revealed to you tonight. The demon say to you. And see if you can imagine that feeling, that energy as a nectar. As a nourishing food, nourishing meal. And now try to imagine you feeding this character, this entity, with this nectar, with this meal. This all fulfilling energy. And to finish, you can ask the demon, the entity, the character, if there is any gift for you at the end of this encounter. The gift can be a symbol, can be a sound, can be a sensation, an experience. Just stay there for a moment. And again, after the bell, open your eyes and bring the visualization to a closure.